Hey everybody, it's Dave Kramer, the Critical Thinking Christian, and today I want to talk about the placebo effect concerning Christians. Now, I was talking to a family member. Well, actually, I wasn't talking to the family member. I was thinking about a family member. I was talking to that family member today. And I was remembering certain things that that family member had talked about, and how there was a area in their life that you could say that certain people, parents, were absent. They were there, but they were working most of the time. And I was thinking about how this person is very dedicated to Christianity, and how any doubts that you might bring up, or any contradictions or inaccuracies or anything where the Bible just misses the mark, does not affect them, because they're so dedicated to their faith and their belief that you can't sway them, because their belief and their faith, you could say, fit that hole that was left by, well, I should go over here because that's the heart left, it filled that hole that was left by their parents, who were working all the time, and they were pushed off to the grandmother. And if she watches this video, she's going to know who I'm talking about. But I was thinking about that, and I thought, okay, very dedicated, committed, believes it wholeheartedly, and only because Jesus and the thought and the idea of him and what he supposedly did fit that and gave her that what she needed. She couldn't hold on to her parents. Her parents were not there. So Jesus helped her. When actually it wasn't Jesus. It was her grandmother. It was other family members, because that's where the grandmother lived. And I see that with a lot of Christians. It's a placebo effect. And one of the reasons, I'm going to just say this, one of the reasons that I'm pausing between what I say to think is because that's the best way to talk. Now, I don't have a problem with people that go, whatever. If they get their point across, that don't bother me. But I was watching some of my videos, and I saw that I have a problem with and I'm trying, and I used to say a lot when I first started. That was on my other channel. And I want to keep that in the forefront of my mind so that I think before I speak, so that I have something to say other than filler. But getting back to what I'm talking about is Christianity is people. The interactions with people, the friendships, what we give each other in encouragement and support, and laughter. We can help each other not to, you could say, have closure because of something that happens that may be traumatic, but we can actually help hold that person up. Christianity is not a God. It's not a Jesus who's a God, or the Holy Spirit. Because as I think I said in other videos, I never saw really any indication that there is a Holy Spirit. Mainly in my observations over the period of my life of people and how they never really seem to change. There are people that are more inclined to be good. I'm going to go good. And there are people in this world that are inclined to be bad. There are people in this life that are right in between. I have a bit of good and bad. I'm not a rule follower. Fuck rules. If I look at it this way. If I commit what they consider to be a crime and I get away with it, then it's not a crime. Otherwise, okay, I'll pay whatever fine. But we have, what I was saying is, there are people that have the, I guess you could say, the persona, the facade of being a good Christian. But they're just natured that way. I was up and down, rebelled, which is good because it didn't really stick to me, even though I felt like through guilt and shame and fear that I better go back. Well, once I started deconverting, that quickly left me to where I have control, not of everything, but mentally I can have control over how I am able to mold myself instead of relying on a God. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him and he will direct thy path. You don't do a damn thing. You don't think for yourself. You just allow him to pretty much stick his hand up your ass and you're a puppet, okay? Or the strings. He's the puppeteer and you're the puppet. Bullshit. But anyway, a lot of Christians are, it's essentially Christianity and their faith and belief are a placebo. Years ago, my mom would talk of hypochondriacs and how the doctors would give them sugar pills, and these people would take sugar pills and they'd feel better. Why? Because their mind told them that the pill's working. See? Christianity is a sugar pill. Sure, you can learn a lot about morality and ethics, and I love the way this thing the way the sun, the clouds are going in front of the sun, and this here adapts to that. And that's the thing, another thing about humans. We adapt. Evolution is all about adaptation. It's about species adapting to their environments, which is what you got to do. Otherwise, you don't survive. See, what is it called? Well, some call it survival of the fittest. I don't know it right now. My brain ain't working, so pausing isn't going to help. But it's the survival of the fittest, which means, and essentially that's right. Some say, no, that ain't right. But here's the thing. If you're able to adapt and another member of your species is not able to adapt, then you are the fittest. So, but anyway, getting back to the placebo effect, that is what this whole faith and belief are. It's a placebo effect. So, any of you Christians out there don't like that, well, that's because you need to believe that it works because it makes you feel good. And if you say it don't, you're lying. Because it's all about the feeling. Well, God spoke to me. You felt like he spoke to you. God helped me. You felt like he helped you. I was thinking of how my problem was with that verse of he'll do everything for you. And I might have said this before, and I don't care. I'm going to say it again. I used to watch Christians succeed at things, and I would think, wow, God didn't answer my prayer. Or if I did try something and I failed, I'd think, okay, he didn't answer my prayer, so apparently he don't want that. And that's outside the normal things, okay? Outside of, say, my job, repairs on my house, where if I do fail at something because I never did it before, I will figure out a way which should have told me, even though I didn't pray about it, that that's how everything works. But under the impression, brainwashed, conditioned to believe this when it's actually just bullshit. I failed at most of my life, which is good because it got to a point where it piled up enough that I am now not a Christian. So, thank you, idiots, and your placebo effect. Because they believe that God's helping them when they just went out and they succeeded on their own by working at it, by being consistent. Which lately, 2022 so far has been the best year ever. Now, that could end. But if I'm still alive after that ends and that passes, I'm going to go back to doing the same damn thing. There won't be no prayer. There won't be no Bible reading. There won't be no church. There won't be no, I need to think this or believe that. I'm not going to pop a little sugar pill in my mouth and go, that'll help me. So that's pretty much all I have right now. Don't take a placebo. Figure out what actually works, and if you come up with the fact of you just working at it and being consistent and not some damn prayer, then you go with what works. All right? And that's all I have for today. And until next time, I'm David Kramer, the Critical Thinking Christian.